Today we'll talk about the article is the role of biotechnology in the development of vaccine. My name is Liu Youchen. Now next, this is index, and I will produce the introduction and application of the biotechnology. Now next, first I want to say, the COVID-19 has affected the whole world, not only human health but also the world economy. And for the current life, it changed our lifestyle, like putting on the mask when going to the public space. Thus, to recover our health and the economy and make people's life return to normal, people started to find a way to solve the virus that killed numerous people. And let's go. The chapter 1, biotechnology, and the introduction. A commonplace example is a vaccine. Vaccines work by removing the nucleus of the pathogen, leaving only the outer shell, the protein or virus particles found on the surface and recognized as antibodies in the immune system. Another example is to extract a gene from a person, then put the gene in the bacteria, let the bacteria make it, and then take it off. Now let's see the application of a vaccine. When the outer shell of the pathogen, we call this antigen, enters the human's body through the vaccine, the immune system begins to produce antibody. Now let's see the picture. The picture is process of antibody production. And this is antigen. When antigen enters the human body, the macrophages will work. The cell eat the antigen. Then the cell told the helper T cell to make a cytotoxic T cell. Then the cytotoxic T cell is informed by helper T cell what is shaped like the antigen, and the T cell will attack the antigen on the surface of the infected cells. And we call this cellular immunity. And another mechanic is the helper T cell called a B cell. The B cell will make the plasma cell, then the plasma cell will make the antibody. The antibodies will attack the infected cell, well, the infected cells. And after the antigen disappear in our bodies, the B cell will make a memory B cell. When six times the same antigen attack human body, the memory B cell will make the B cell work, and the B cell will make a plasma cell, and plasma cell will antibody and attack the infected cell. The second time is more. The six time quantity is more than one first time, and the speed is more than first time. And we can see when most antigen inject for the first time, fewer antibody produce and the sixth time more antibody will make. You can see the peak is the first time. The y-axis is quantity, and the x-axis is time. The first time the peak is down lower than six times. We can see the time, the period is longer than six times. So, and next we can see application of gene recombination. Splicing is a phenomenon of gene recombination. For example, scientists cut a piece of human insulin-making gene and put it into the bacterial gene so that the bacteria can help humans make insulin. Finally, The insulin produced by the bacteria is refined and purified, which can be used for injection therapy for diabetic patients at any time. And the picture is the process of gene recombination. Human cut the gene, cut the human insulin making gene like this, and cut off the bacteria, and put the gene into the bacteria and make it. Then put the, the gene to the bacteria and make. It is refined and purified to make the insulin. Now that's all. It is short. Thank you for listening.
Here, I want to talk about commercial vaccine production pros and cons. Commercial vaccine production. Bioprocess, which includes upstream process. The upstream process includes the preparation for growth media, production cells, and optimization of production condition. Here, see the picture like that. And downstream process. Downstream process includes product harvest, production purification, and management of waste production, like some product. Yeah. The conventional method to making vaccine relies on the type of vaccine being produced. Some vaccine use pathogenic cells or particles directly. For this type of vaccine, pathogens are grown directly on a specific growth and then harvested after reaching a certain number. The pathogenic cells or pathogens then weakened or killed using different methods used as by heating or the use of certain chemicals. Here, I want to explain what is pathogens. It means any small organism, such as a virus or a bacteria that can cause disease. And the picture right-handed pathogenic cells or particles. Pros and cons. Before the formulation of vaccine, the production process for this type of vaccine that needs to be completed is relatively simple as facilities for massive productions are widely available, and it's the pros. However, there is still the risk that the pathogen can be active again, and the titer of antigen remains limited, and it's the cons. We can see the picture right hand. For protein-based vaccine, the coding gene of the protein can be inserted into the plasmid and transformed into the host cell, which can then express that gene into protein. The protein produced is then harvested, purified, and formulated into vaccine. The production of this type of vaccine is relatively more complex as it requires extra operation, but it can produce a really high level of antigen titer.
My name is Howard. I'm going to talk about the future trend. Okay, when you watch movies, the scenes in them usually have a sense of the future. which you can see in reality that you want to have. I called it a yearning future, but this is just a desire. When we face out to the real world, what I see is a bunch of problems, such as marine pollution, disease problems, cancer, and insufficient resources. Problems abound around us. So, to have this future, biotechnology is one way. I'll give some example to describe how biotechnology is used in future. Okay, the first example is the help of biotechnology to decomposition. Marine pollution is the most problem in our daily life because of human development makes the Earth's environment worse and worse, affecting animals and plants in other environments. Reducing the use of the indecomposable waste is one way, but we can try to solve the problem by adding the concept of biotechnology by means of a natural decomposition of microorganisms. It can change the genetic structure of microorganisms so that microorganisms can quickly decompose some plastic in the ocean, thus gradually improving the living environment. The second example, the help of biotechnology to medical treatment. In daily life, sometimes when a fall or even amputation occurs, there will be so-called cell repair during the wound recovery period. If regenerated cells can be combined with biotechnology and nanotechnology, perhaps the speed of cell generation will be very fast, and it can also be replicated according to human genes. The combination of biotechnology and nanotechnology can lead to less risky and more preventive and more restorative change in the body. And the last example, biotechnology is helpful data conversion. Elon Musk set up Neuralink in 2016 because he wanted to develop the technology that human brain is directly connected with artificial intelligence. What Neuralink is doing is just like what happens in science fiction. They are trying to connect silicon hardware with the internet in a physical way by using the tiny particles transplanted into the brain. Okay, the conclusion. Biotechnology is a new industry which can gradually promote the technology it owns. And the universality of biotechnology is also huge. So, whether it is epidemic situation or population explosion, climate change or industry futurization, biotechnology is a key to open the gate of the future.